All right, guys, here we're going to talk about The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 4.
All right.
So the
show continues.
This episode has some interesting stuff. So Oceanside and Maggie's people are now like in cahoots to just steamroll over the Saviors, it seems.
Basically. I liked some of this stuff. So, like, I've been saying from the start that I really enjoy the idea of, like, we have to, we're building back civilization now, finally, and that's presenting different challenges than being a, like, nomadic group of, like, survivalists presented.
Yes.
Right? Which is logical, and it makes sense, and I kind of like that. Right? I don't know if they're handling it as good as I would like, but, I'm definitely interested in them exploring these ideas.
I'm interested in it, but I feel like they're exploring things in a weird way, and it doesn't make sense for actual surviving societies. So you have all these pivotal roles, and we keep seeing those go to people that aren't trustworthy.
Yeah.
Like setting off the zombie alarm. Okay, he just shit the bed there. Okay, we lost some good people. And the person that runs their relay, their only communication device, is a person from Oceanside. Yeah. When you're like, okay, and I know Oceanside hasn't really. They did come to your aid. They didn't fuck you too hard. But for me, and it's nothing against anybody else, but all pivotal roles would be by people I like. Oh, I know your full name. You've been with me for this long.
Yeah.
You've proven yourself. Just because, why not? Also, they're kind of cushy roles. It's like, oh, sit here, push this button. Oh, here, talk.
No, and it's tough to juggle it and manage it. This happens where I work. Sometimes we hire consultants, and they're only there for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and they're working on projects and stuff like that. And the idea is you never have a project that's only consultants. You always embed one person who's part of your core team in the project so that it stays the way you like to do stuff, right? So the relay station almost makes sense in a way because there's probably so many and it's so much shit or whatever. But yes, you would think that there's enough spare people from Alexandria, or the Hilltop, or whatever,
the Kingdom.
That there should be enough people to do stuff. However, the Archer broad, who I love, who's been on the show for 5 seasons now, right?
The one with the horse with Maggie.
She rides with Maggie.
Yeah, she's from the Kingdom.
She is from the Kingdom, and she is on she's with Maggie, on her side.
She has the broadest legs.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice until this episode. I was like, God, she could probably squat 400 pounds.
No, I like her a lot, and I can't express it in a way that's not insulting to the actress. But I like that she was Rosita and certain characters. It's you're impossibly hot, you're impossibly clean, and you know all these things, and you're so tough, and everything's great.
She looks like what a real tough girl looks like.
This chick looks like she could hang. She could fucking do stuff, and she's a good shot. And she gets 4 lines of dialogue per season, and they're all really good. It's okay, man, we can do it. Or I'm not sure if I can make the shot. When do we do it? Do we wait? Okay, good, I got it. She always says stuff where I'm like, yes. And here, she's just Maggie, let's go. And you're like, fuck yeah. She knows the plan. She's doing it, and she's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I love that character. It's this tiniest little meaningless role, and it stands out to me as yes.
Sure, yeah, no, she's a memorable. Because
I believe, like you're saying, I believe that she could survive and do these things, and that's why she's promoted in the Kingdom, and she's in that position. Right?
She reminds me of the girl whenever they would split us up in sports, guy girl, and you wanted to win. She's the girl you would want to team with.
Exactly.
You're all right, she can throw. I know.
Right. She doesn't. And you've complained before, where certain actresses have to play certain roles, and it's you're a model.
Not even just actresses, actors in general.
Okay, yeah. I'm focusing too narrowly, right? But it's you're a model, you have good cheekbones, you're on this restrictive diet where you don't have any body fat or whatever, and they're oh, he's bleeding profusely and he's climbing up the thing. It's yeah, bro, I'm sure you could do all that. There's no way you could do this or whatever.
There's people where you just look at them, you're if you were to get punched in the face once, you would be dead.
Yes.
You just know him. You would crumble.
Whereas this chick, if you punched her in the face, you'd have a major problem on your hands. She'd be very angry with you. And she would put her finger on one nostril, blow blood out the other one, and just beat you to death. Yeah, I'm really into it. Why'd I get off on this tangent? Okay, because even her, who I love so much, has apparently... So, I liked this in a way, right? Because this I feel is different. I felt like Meathead Savior being in charge of the siren thing was a script compression thing where that should have been a different Savior that we like more, that made sense in that role. Because he made no sense for various reasons. This I feel is a little different because it's a less important role and blah, 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 blah. Plus, it's a conspiracy. You think Oceanside is super on your side, right? And much like you think the kingdom is super on your side. But like Maggie and Daryl have like sown discontent, and they've gotten certain people in the fold, and they're operating here, right? And I love it being this like reveal where she's like, "Yep, you got it, 10-4. Fuck that." It's like, I'm not doing that shit, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Something I inferred, and I don't know if there's going to be some other explanation there, is I'm assuming that it's just like, well, we caught you killing people. We looked the other way. You do what we say now?
Yeah.
And
like
and
that,
I
right?
I would like them to like hammer that out, because there's a flip side where there's just a little cabal of people in her pocket from all the different groups, which also could be true, because we do see there's a kingdom person, at least one in there.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's this that they've been. I think like people are probably complaining a lot. Like, I don't know about this not killing Negan thing. Rick wants us to do this now if he says so. And then Maggie and Daryl and Jesus are like hearing that and going like, yeah, what do I'm kind of sympathetic to that. And they're like slowly getting people. And like the Oceanside scene with the Rot was probably like a big tipping point where they were like, wait, you did this because of me? Well, I'm all in now. We're all in, right? We're in, right? Brothers, sisters, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And now it's this fucking thing, because the people are like really on board. And I love the way this took shape, because Daryl got separated. Hey, the turn was back there. And he's like, no, it's just fucking driving. That whole thing, I was like, this is awesome. But then they fall in a hole. I don't know.
What the hell was that hole?
The giant
it's
hole.
Like the most perfectly made hole. Like, is that supposed to be a sinkhole? Because it looks perfect.
They so like on like the one side, they like it was well designed because it has like water erosion-y stuff there, so it kind of makes sense in a way. But yes, it's like an impossible movie hole or television hole where like people fall in holes sometimes, and it's not deep enough, or there's nothing on the bottom to hurt yourself, but now you're just trapped in this hole or whatever, right? And I'm just like, all right, I guess you have to take your hatchet and start digging and piling up dirt and making like a staircase to get out. That sucks. But luckily zombies start falling in the hole. And that's like your big set piece, right? Before we had like logs killing zombies and like the other zombie stuff or like whatever. But now like zombies are like like falling in the hole like it's an 80s movie, just sliding into the hole.
I thought for a moment, I was like, oh God, is Daryl going to die here?
Or Rick, yeah.
I didn't think Rick was, I'm like, I know there's going to be some Rick business, but I was like, that won't be here. This is going to be to make people think, because that rumor's already out and whatnot.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's more on that. But
yes, there's more on that. More to come.
No, but he says something. I don't know if I'll be able to find it here if I wrote it down, but there were some things that he said, where it's kind of like we're making amends. This is like a big deal. So like I was like, oh yeah, maybe this is like he dies saving Rick, and then shouts something about the future. And Rick's like, oh, I got stuff to think about now.
It was not beyond something that was possible for like to happen here. I did not want it to happen, but it was possible.
I go back and forth on that. Like it's really tough for me, because like part of me thinks, well, they could never kill anyone without making it into like a big thing, right?
You'd think.
But the show's like changing itself now, so I think like that might be a really good way to communicate that change is in this first half season. Have somebody die in a way that's like not special. Don't fucking play music and have a big lead up and fall off, right? Just have someone die, because people die, right? Just do it.
Yeah, dysentery.
Yeah. Try to fjord a river. Whatever.
It happens.
Yeah.
So let's just jump to the end real quick, and we can backfill if we have to.
I appreciate it.
So they get out of the hole, and he's like, the horse is just sitting there while there's like zombies coming, and he's like, "Oh, lead him away! No, you got it, son of a bitch." I know you're
on a roll, but there's a great little thing here. Where he's like, "Lead him to the bridge. We'll like knock it out. It'll be great." And he's like, "I'm not getting rid of the bridge." Like he like the bridge is the symbol of the future, and Rick is like, "Fuck that, no."
Well, the bridge to do any trading at all.
Yeah. But that's like Daryl's like I'm sorry, this is deep.
They'll get sent out to the sea.
I'm so deep with this stuff, but like Daryl has a way tactically of solving the problem. That's how he thinks. He's the nomadic, wandering, survival, do your thing guy, right?
Yeah.
He's tracker, hunter. He has all of his rogue skills and ranger skills maxed out and all that stuff, right? But Rick has the high like charisma and leadership and all that stuff, and he's like no, tactically, yes, like the bridge solves today's problem, but I'm thinking about like 10 years problems, right? We need this bridge. We've sunk so much into it. Like the labor force fucked off. Like we can't even do it again if we try. We're fucked. We have to solve this problem without getting rid of the bridge, right? And it maybe cost them.
I do think that it would have been worth it to wash out the bridge because you have nothing but time.
Probably,
you could fix this again.
Yeah.
And like you can build another bridge. Like there's things you can do. Like you can just drive a truck into the water and then just build off of that.
No, I know, and they're not really like, because it's not that type of show. You're just kind of trusting Eugene and kind of just going with it. But like what they're showing you visually doesn't really match what they're describing in a lot of cases. So you just have to be like, okay, I guess the bridge is doomed. Like I don't know, like it's like. But
so like what annoyed me about how this episode starts to go in this particular part of the ending is you have this horse that expresses like no fear at all while being like almost surrounded by zombies.
They're getting close to
and it doesn't even like it's not even moving and like because they're presumably to a horse just people.
Which is interesting.
So like Rick gets on the horse and he starts to like lead them away.
Yep.
And then he gets to like a fork in the road, turns the corner, and sees that other group that we talked about that were walking in parallel heard the gunshots and are all coming to the same area.
I believe that's what we are to believe, is that the two herds are colliding.
They're colliding
into a mega herd.
And for some reason now, with them much farther away from him than when they were when he first picked up the horse, the horse freaks out, kicks him. He falls on the only patch of like broken concrete and rebar in the world, and it pierces him through. It could be the kidney, maybe.
It's enough to the side, and like he's been shot in that kidney already, so I'm sure he'll be fine. But that's bullshit. But whatever.
Well, so I wouldn't be sure he'd be fine because his only hope at this moment is the air horns going off and like it calling them away, or Daryl coming through with the bike, like. Because they were within like 15, 20
They're
feet
so
of him.
close to him. And by the way, in that last shot when they cut to like the aerial drone shot or whatever, you see the horse off to the side.
Yeah, like doesn't care at all.
Not worried at all. I know. So that doesn't bother me per se, but I do agree that that
just bothers me because I'm like, convenience for the plot. It should have bucked and ran. Like it should be standing 2 feet away.
It's very funny that it's like right off to the side. Over there. No, but they get so close. So this is the kind of thing where, again, TV has trained me not to believe what I'm seeing and just say, like, I guess they're not really that close. Or, like, next episode will start and, like, there'll be a different angle where they're much further away for some reason. And, like, saving the day will happen or whatever. So,
like, he might get a little time bought if they all go for the horse first.
Maybe.
But even then, like, they're so close and there's so many of them, like...
So... This is what I was saying before. I feel like he should die here, but he can't die here, right?
So I was thinking in my head, I'm like, now how could this play out interestingly? And I'm like, what if the next episode just picks up and we don't address this at all?
Yeah.
And then, like, we don't see him for, like, 2 episodes, and then they find his body. And it just ends so uneventfully. Or there's no music swell, there's no speech.
They just find him as a zombie.
Maybe.
Right? Buddy. With, like, a big torn out thing on his side. Whew. That'd be awesome.
But that was my thought. I'm like, is that the best way to do this? Is it just like it's just a Tuesday, not a big build-up, not a season finale,
that would be,
not a mid-season premiere thing, like nothing?
I would love that so much that I'm sure that can't happen.
Just to show you like how fragile life is and how no one is safe in this apocalypse.
No, that's what the show should have been like all along, but they would have, like, too many people would have died, I guess, or they got their heads up their own asses too far or whatever. But that would be, honestly, the best way to do it, is to have Rick be the one who dies with no big fanfare, really. This is kind of fanfare, but, like, no big thing. It
honestly is already too big. I think if I was going to do it, it would literally be he gets bucked from the horse and dies from the fall. It's like, after all this, he survived so much, and just multiple wars, they traveled through states, he fell.
He tripped and fell. No, because that would make like a good statement. I wonder if did they set it up enough? Do they think they set it up enough? I always try to do this math here. So like he just said like Carl died for nothing then or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
He's making the point that like deaths matter and it's important and the people and like Daryl even said, what about Sasha? What about Abraham? Right? He was even saying like the dead people, right? So maybe they think that they've set something up where that would be apropos now. I can see that.
Well, We'll see in an episode or two.
Oof, I can't wait. When the next one, I feel like we're going to know very quickly when the next one kicks off. If like
if they confirm death in the next episode, it'll be on Twitter before we've ever even had a chance to breathe.
That is true. Where it's like, wow, I just won't go on Twitter for 3 weeks.
So back, I mentioned gunshots. The gunshots are, Grizzly Adams comes back. He's got a gun now, and
Grizzly Adams.
I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
Carol stabbed in the chest, McHenry, whatever his name is. So he's there with a bunch of saviors, and they want guns, and they wanna take everything pretty much.
So this episode earlier on, Carol and Rick talk, and she's like, they're leaving, and then I'm going back to the kingdom, and he's like, what? I want you to go back with the, and she's like, listen, no, and he's like, what if it gets bad? And she's like, that's on them then. What are we gonna do? It's fine.
I agree with that idea, but
everyone's got choices to make, whatever.
I also think that it's a dangerous idea because whenever you give someone a choice, that choice could be to stab you in the back.
So
and it turned into that. I mean,
when she said that, I was like, oh, that's going to be a thing. Like, that's on them. And I didn't think it'd be the same guy because he got hurt and they were like, patch him up. So I was like, okay, he'll probably be there, but there's no other person.
He'll maybe pull some strings.
Yeah, I was like, how is this going to, because the other meathead's dead. Like, we don't have another savior that has the lines. Well, like the blonde girl with the tattoo savior, who I like a lot.
She's on their side, though. I don't think she even went back with them.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like, so like I was thinking of what saviors have spoken dialogue that we could use for this role. But it turned out they just reused the same. That's what I mean. Like it feels like this was written for a much slower, longer thing, and they're compressing it down and reusing the same person. Because that should have been like a different guy that happened, right? Because now we just have the same guy twice. He just eats shit from Carol constantly. He's like, you got lucky. I got you this time. And then fucks up again. And I'm like, what? Of all the people that you should have shot or like immediately backed away from, he's being, However, maybe that's the point,
I didn't think she was going to cave in a leg. I thought she was going to be like, pa, 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 and like spin and like take out all three that had guns.
Bullet time happens,
Because she's done things like that in the past. She is the most bullet aggressive, I think, of them.
I guess if I had to have guessed, I would have thought like human shield, like she gets him, and then has him.
Nah, he's too strong.
Either stabs him or does something, or shoots him and then maybe like something. But okay, so but that all happens. So that all they end up, everyone kind of rises up. Do they bring that to like a satisfying conclusion? I feel like they just show a few shots of people.
Shots start getting fired, and then it cuts away immediately to the hole.
Like you see good guys with guns from behind and good guys with guns from the front, and you're like, okay.
And you see Jerry motherfucker. Like he looked like he was getting ready to like just do some shit.
I love this character, by the way. We haven't been talking about him. He's got this chubby wife now or whatever. They're hanging out. He's still talking the way he talks. His dialogue. He's got his fucking axe. And in this, he comes out. It's just layers and layers of his like. He looks like a samurai with all of his armor on.
Yeah.
And he fucking just pulls out his gun like this. Not gonna go well, right? And does the whole thing. I love that character so much. Ever since back in the day.
The Samoan samurai.
Oh my
Jerry.
God. Jerry? Is his name Jerry? Yeah.
Isn't it?
I think so. I hope so.
I think it's Jerry.
With a G.
I'll allow that. It's old school.
All right.
Are we missing? Is there one other whole? What's her face? Anna.
Yeah.
What was her name when she was a Junkrat?
Jadis,
yeah.
And when she gets on the walkie-talkie, so I've now in my notes gone back to calling her Jadis.
Okay.
Because when she radios the secret lost military HQ,
who we don't see this episode,
the fucking Z Nation, Utopia Society or whatever, fucking stupid. This is gonna be we are working so hard to fight uphill for this battle, and no matter what it is, it will never satisfy me.
You know what I want it to be? I want it to be the weakest shit ever. I want it to be like a Knights of Columbus or like a VA like bar type thing that just has like they have like a tank in the front yard and like a helicopter on the roof, and this is them like using it and doing things or some stupid bullshit.
So here's what I do to protect my own brain. Sometimes when we talk and you go, I predicted this, or I thought I was going to be that. Sometimes I say, I didn't think about what it was going to be. I just went with it, and then I saw what it was by the end. I'm doing that here. I can't allow myself to speculate because even what you just said, it like psychically damaged me. I'm like injured now from like trying to think about what this could possibly be. That would possibly be
well. And now
good,
let's like,
right?
especially
It's
now
so
that we
tough.
know like what the hell are options A and B. Like she was gonna because like when she first had Negan, she also had a zombie. And now she has him as a zombie. I'm like, is it that they like to pull up and see a snuff film? Like what?
Right?
What? And she is super strong because of how she was holding that at that angle.
Well, see, leverage and the wheels, you know.
Not the way she was holding
No, I
it.
know. No, and like that's the whole thing is like, so like we have to piece together, right? So we're not the type of channel. We don't go frame by frame. We don't get the script and analyze what everyone's saying, all right? But my impression, right, is he's like, oh, you were trading people, and she's like, yeah, for supplies, but you were doing this. Well, it didn't start out that way. It's tough or whatever, right? But then it's like, wait, what? So she's reenacting the scene again that she had with Negan.
Yeah.
Like the rendezvous happens, and you have to have created a new zombie or something. What is going on here? This is absolutely insane, right? Because, maybe it's like a secret test facility and they're looking for a cure and they need like a fresh zombie or some bullshit.
Why can't they just cross my mind?
Why can't they do that there? That doesn't make any sense. Why do you have to do it in this dirty junkyard?
Why do you have to waste gas to fly a helicopter to pick it up? Like,
yeah, honestly.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
It's unfathomable to me. And maybe, again, and I said this 2 years ago when I was like, why do these junkrats talk like cavemen? What's going on? Maybe and I said this, maybe I'll be proven wrong and I'll eat my words and it'll be good and they'll explain it in a way that satisfies me and makes me happy and I'll feel like a dum-dum, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think they will ever even try to explain it now because so many of them are dead.
Oh, no. Well, no. I've given up on that.
I wanted a mental institution. That's what I wanted.
Well, yes. Something. I would have liked something. But now we just have a new thing, right? Now the helicopter's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I'm saying again, I don't see how this could possibly be good. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. I seriously doubt that, though.
Yeah.
Right? I think this is more this bullshit that they put in the show to be mysterious. Maybe it's in the comics. Maybe if we read if we were up to date on the comic, there's some bullshit thing with a helicopter. But again, your Knights of Columbus thing is just as good as the secret Resident Evil Z Nation underground laboratory.
VFW is actually what I'm thinking of. VFW.
How about a VW Bug?
VW Bug.
Perfect.
Mystery Machine. Is that all the?
There's just some more tidbits here. I just want to say that I really did like that they have a message relay system.
Yeah. It makes sense.
This is similar to some other stuff that doesn't spring back to mind immediately that we've talked about. Okay, like when they finally showed us zombies feeding, getting losing interest, and then their victim getting up.
Uh-huh.
I think they've never showed that before on the show, and they finally showed it here. And now here, like you're doing the math, like they can just talk on the walkie-talkie, but sometimes it conveniently doesn't work. And how far are they? He says it's like a day's ride, but what does that mean? How fast are you going? We're doing all this crazy math.
Yeah.
And now we see, there's like a message relay. They have like a frequency where someone sits in like a lawn chair and is like, what's up?
Yeah.
Tell King Ezekiel that we had to postpone the harvest feast, and she's like, got it. Hello, kingdom, come in, king. And she's like halfway in between. And you're like, oh shit, that's wonderful. This makes perfect sense now. I
wonder what their actual distance is. Do you think?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Average 22-mile walkie-talkie. So figure.
Oh, is it?
They're probably just short of 22. In that way. So like maybe it's like 40 miles from one to the other.
Yeah, it could be between 30 and 50, right? Somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but this is like these are little things.
If there's only one relay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in a central location or
it
if
also
they
could
some
be
shit out.
Relay to relay.
Yeah. No, who knows? But that's some little details like that. So I contrast that with we got another letter from Georgie. We have to keep mentioning this fucking lame ass character, the weird Doctor Who lady in a suit that has the key to the future. All this bullshit. That's bullshit to me.
How are you getting letters from Georgie?
The whole her sons deliver it or something, or what's happening? All of that's fucking bonkers clown fiesta. It clashes with the realistic tone of the show so much to me that I can't get behind it. Whereas Relay Station. Oh, ethanol fuel.
No, yeah. We got a letter from Georgie. All right, well, how does that work? They have one car, presumably, that we've ever seen, unless they are splitting up, and now you have, there's only, 3 of them?
It was just a lady an old lady and her 2 sons.
Yeah.
And they're collecting records.
So that would mean one son at the very least, is leaving alone to trek across the world to deliver a letter to then trek alone back to somehow try to find his parent and his brother. That doesn't make any sense.
At which point, if you ran into 10 zombies, 2 rogue saviors, right, one of whom has one eye, whatever, you're fucked. It's over. The whole thing's done.
If you twisted your ankle, you're dead.
Exactly. If you get a bad splinter,
all for and what could be on that letter? What could be that important?
I know. And this is fine on Z Nation. I love it on Z Nation. On Walking Dead, I can't truck with that.
That's dumb.
It's bad. It doesn't fit with the whole thing. But again, Relay Station. Oh, these are the little details. And when Rick is saddling up and Daryl, because it's both a conspiracy, but it's also like where he's like, no man, we'll take the bike. And he's like, do you have enough fuel? Are you sure? Like he's like hesitant, like I don't want to waste fuel, man. And he goes like, no, it's all good. We'll get there quicker. It's worth it. Like let's go. Little details. No one's fucking mentioned fuel or gas or time or anything.
Well, they started. No, they did.
Let's go.
They started making.
No.
Making fuel and only have enough power for the bikes.
This season they are doing it, right? But like for several seasons of the show, those things only came up when they were conveniently guiding the plot in like a different direction. No one ever worried about like, do we have enough of this? How long is it going to take to do that? It was all just like, boom, we're just doing it, right?
Just to swing back to Georgie for a second, put that letter in the drawer with the rest of them. They've gotten many letters from Georgie.
Yeah,
That's so dumb.
She was reading one in a previous episode, and it's dumb enough that she's giving letters. We're spending a long time on this letter thing.
It's because it's one of the dumbest parts of the episode.
But what's so much dumber is that, the writers of the show, we have to keep mentioning this character for some reason. This is important. We can't just... So, part of me, when they, because this season starts off with, a time skip and, a big jump start, and we're getting rid of stuff, and, Gregory's dead, and, we're cleaning stuff up, and we're bringing people together, and we're splitting them apart, right? We're doing major stuff, right? So part of me was like, great, good. Never mention Georgie again. Just fucking wipe that shit under the rug. We have the book now. Oh, this book, right? So, it's bad enough the book is going to remind us of this crazy character. Just forget about it, though. Move on. We got a book.
I have a theory,
right?
And they're mentioning her because she's going to be pivotal.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a thing, this giant swarm, and those swarm are going to merge to make Cobalt Collider or whatever it was called, and it's going to just sweep through this thing, and they're going to have to leave. And that letter says, I found a new blah, blah, blah. Maybe come here.
Please, no. Yeah, no. But that's what I'm saying. If they're betting the future of this show and the whole thing on Georgie being pivotal, Georgie, am I saying it wrong? Georgie,
I don't know.
Her being pivotal or whatever. That's such a bad decision. That's so wrong for this show. You need people to lose limbs, die, get diseases, horrible stuff happening, learning about the future, debating about should we trust these people? Should we be tactical? Should we be strategic? The trade routes. This whole thing about that shipment went missing. That could have been a whole great thing, right? That's interesting.
I was hoping for some other savior-esque group of things right. This or to find out they go to Negan. Someone's been taking a blah blah. Oh, you met the outlaws.
Yeah, right.
Who the hell are the outlaws? They're who we pay tribute to. What?
Well, or don't even go that far.
No, I think that would be hilarious.
That would be funny and zany or whatever. But I would have even settled for where I thought you were going with that was we can weave in a thing now where and this happens, right? When you kill Saddam Hussein, when you kill Gaddafi or whatever, right?
Someone else rises up.
Shit goes bad because it turns out Negan was holding down all this different stuff or whatever, right? So you could have brought back the wolves if they're not all dead. I forget what happened.
I think they are all dead.
I don't know when they died though. Whatever. You could have had stuff now happening where it's oh yeah, well you got the people from there, the people from there or whatever, people cropping up now because they realize Negan's dead, everything's in disarray. We can reclaim our old territory that Negan pushed us off of, right? Could be all this awesome stuff happening, but we don't have any of that.
No.
We have a long time we spend in this episode with Michonne and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the other thing that's happening.
This is them, quickly trying to prove, she's really a warrior. She's not a housewife. Blah, da, 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 da.
Oh, weird.
Let me address everything all in one episode and not slowly build into it, because why would you ever do that? We should just establish this thing that's always happened forever in one episode.
I agree that it felt rushed, but was that your take that the show wants the audience to make sure that they know that? Because I feel like everyone thinks Michonne's badass and she has the sword and that's the thing.
So you had to have a thing where Negan can just see right through people. I know this thing of you, this thing that we just told the audience today.
Yeah,
that's what that was.
the way you were phrasing it, I thought you meant like the writers thought that we have to prove to the audience that Michonne is badass. And
I didn't think it was a
feel
proof
like they
that
know
she's
that
badass.
whatever, right?
It is a like she is not made to be a mom character. She is made to be a fucking warrior.
But this is about proving in a way that like Negan is like whatever. That I would agree with. Is like, yes, we had to show him being able to like peel apart like and like talk and make that his like strength or whatever. Because he was this leader. He was able to like manipulate and do whatever, right? So we have to like show that angle off or something like that. And I like that it came down to the bat again, which is that's from the comics, I guess. I don't know how much it's in the comics, but he loves this bat so much in a weird way. That's like too much for me.
Lucille.
I don't like. I've bought it sometimes, but sometimes it's like too much for me, and I can't get behind it.
Yeah, the when, like willing to throw your life away for it type of things that he's done in the past.
When he was like, and this whole thing in this episode was him manipulating her to get her to be like, can I just see her? Can I just see Lucille? And she's like, we don't have your bat, Negan. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, shit. And there was the bat earlier when we had the whole... So we have these, like, night trips she's taking
every night.
To go kill zombies. I liked the way that was filmed, but absolutely you're right. Where, like, part of me was like, oh, we're going to spend some more time with Michonne now. We're going to loop back around and spend some time with Michonne. And what we're doing, like you're saying, is just this proof that she's not fit to be in this, like, world. Like, that's not good. Yeah.
But, like, I can see that. Like, I can see meeting a character in the zombie apocalypse who's just like, nope. He's like, I do nothing but kill zombies. Why? Because every zombie I kill can't kill somebody else. Like, someone who had lost somebody, and they're just kind of like the I cleanse or I clear or whatever.
I clear. I was just going to say that's like Morgan's arc. That's the whole point of him. Yeah.
I like it.
And now we don't have Morgan anymore.
No.
So we have to have Michonne be out there clearing or whatever. I don't know. I'm not.
The episode was all right, but again, it left me with more questions than answers, and I'm less than optimistic about how certain things are going, and especially with our Rick stuff, we have very little options there.
No, I feel like we're kind of like we're kind of backed into a corner almost with some of this stuff. I'm extremely interested. I do think a lot of the performances and like other stuffs, like writing in terms of plot and overall stuff, I'm seeing cracks and maybe risks that are not paying off or whatever. But like minute to minute, some of the performances I think are like good and making up for it. I like Maggie and Daryl. I like Rick. I like what's happening. So
and super interested to see what happens next episode, even just to see the train wreck unfold.
Yeah, right, because they're building up to something, and I'm interested to see how big of an explosion and how many casualties we have.
So let's find out next week. That's everything that happened in this episode. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.